Welcome to La Ventanita, the Miami Herald Food podcast. I'm Carlos Frías, the Miami Herald Food editor, joined at least for this week by my buddy over there, Amy Reyes.
What's up, Carlos?
Amy, I'm
Got
not
any
sure
news?
where to start.
Anything going on?
There's one little thing, one
Yeah, one little thing.
housekeeping item.
Yeah, we should
Um,
we should inform inform our beloved public.
yeah, I guess we
Wait,
should
what's
do
her
that.
name?
What is her? Oh, Vanessa. Vanessa Budd will want to
Vanessa
know.
Budd. We gotta let her know.
Yeah. So this is not news to anybody who kind of follows the show, maybe, or maybe it is. But this is maybe our last La Ventanita. A week ago, I took a job as the new host of the WLRN show Sundial, and I'm going to be taking my talents to downtown Miami, where the studio is. And I'll be leaving the Herald after 6 years, which is not something that I ever thought would happen. So I'm. It's kind of emotional. It's kind of emotional. This is a job that I love doing. I mean, this podcast is something that I love to do. It was literally a passion project that you and I just kind of put on our shoulders, and we just said this is going to be the thing that we're going to do. It's going to be
We're gonna
fun,
make it
and
happen.
we're going to make it happen. And thanks to Pierre. Pierre Taylor, the director of the show, who literally handles every technical aspect. He was like, he goes, I like that. Let's do that. And and then it turned into this fun little thing that apparently that y'all liked. So that's been nice,
Especially Vanessa.
especially Vanessa.
Our
And
one
man,
fan.
we appreciate Vanessa.
We appreciate her. Well, it's good for you. It sucks for me. And I'm sad to see you go. And if you make
Yeah,
me cry, I will punch you through through the screen.
through the screen.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's a
you know,
bummer, man. I've been working with you for like 6 years and we've been through a lot of different things and we've had a lot of I feel like you're one of those people that was in a foxhole with, like we went through a lot of different changes at the Herald and we survived them all and we actually always figured out how to do good work in spite of the changing marching orders. And so I think that was, that's one of the things that will always, you know, bond us forever. That and our award-winning croqueta coverage.
or we're in croqueta coverage. I mean, when you
Yeah.
say, we won a Society of Features Journalist Award for our coverage of croquetas, that
We're
is no
not
small
lying.
feat. I'm
These are
very proud
these
of
are
that.
not lies. These are truths. This is
I'm
the
very
truth.
proud of that. I really
Yeah.
am.
No,
No,
and in
and I
six
think,
years you got yourself 2 James Beard Awards. You've written a bunch of really amazing stories and you've found all these interesting different things about Miami's food life that everybody gets enthusiastic about. So it's gonna suck for us, but it's good for you.
I mean, honestly, it's I didn't see this coming because I enjoy journalism. I enjoy the daily writing of it. I enjoy finding stories that are different and that really kind of capture Miami. I know I've told you this before, but when I first started here, I remember walking in the building and I walked past these 21 Pulitzers. Like there was a wall with then 21, now it's 23, and thinking like, what could I possibly add to this place, And this paper kind of proved that no matter what job you have inside, you can be on the national radar because it's one of the best journalism jobs in the country. So, I tried to do that first year. I tried to do everything, and I think I've told you this. I kind of had like a nervous breakdown at the end of that first year.
Yeah.
I was writing. I must have written, I don't know, Amy, 300 stories that first 6 months. It was an
Hmm.
enormous. It was ridiculous, and I said, no, I'm gonna focus and just write stories that could only happen in Miami, stuff that's only Miami centric.
Well,
And
then you were lucky because at some point they got some tools and they were like, well, here, we're going to show you the stories that people are reading online.
right,
And that was
right,
actually like, people
really
were
helpful.
upset about it because all of a sudden we had to narrow our focus. And, as the newsroom got smaller, we had to like hone in on what people are interested in. And like,
Yeah.
that was one of the things that really helped us to say, okay, what does our audience want to read about? And so we were able to, you were able to do that.
And not for nothing, but honestly, like you came in to the job, and we're like, let's just do fun stuff. Let's do stuff
Mm-hmm.
that works, but let's have some fun doing it. And like that has been our credo over in the little Miami.com
Our little
sector.
corner.
Is exactly, it's like Miami Herald's more fun little brother or
Their
little
creepy
sister.
little weirdo corner. Yeah, we're gonna do videos about what a croqueta. Remember the videos we did with Chloe? Those were
Oh my
super
God.
fun.
Oh, that
That was
video
a
with
good time. Those were good
God, I
times.
swear, Pierre, if you find that video and want to insert it at some point, that would be okay.
Oh my God, we wouldn't be mad. Yeah.
Yeah,
What was
there's
it?
a video. It's a
How to
video of
explain
me.
dale, the word dale using a Cuban party platter?
Yes, but also how to order Cuban coffee in Miami.
Oh yeah.
Remember,
Oh, with
like
Carlos Schmias.
that's right, Carl
Yes.
Schmias
Yes, our friend
was
Carl Schmias. Our friend Carlos here put on a little mustache and went incognito to a Cuban coffee place to order. What were you ordering? A latte?
I don't know what you're talking about.
A
I mean,
venti grande?
it was some guy that we
It
hired
was some guy. It was some guy.
for a one-off skit who tried to order a venti with a caramel drizzle at a
Yeah.
Ventanita, and we are like,
And she
that
was
ain't how to
like,
do
"Get
it.
out now."
Yeah, thrown out on his head. Let me have a tall, non-fat latte, caramel drizzle, por favor. Wait, right there. Wait, hey! Ah! God, that was
Oh,
fun.
those were fun times.
Chloe was a genius.
She was a
Chloe
genius.
Herring was a genius of this of Miami.com, and really she helped keep us young and fun. So
Exactly. And now she's off doing good things for HBO. So,
all right, well let's shall we talk about some food things going on? I
oh,
feel
before
like
we talk about food things, we need to talk
Okay.
about me because this
Oh,
is
right.
what's
Right.
important. We need to talk
Right.
about me. So listen, this weekend I went to Sedona, Arizona, right? Because I went on a girls trip, and obviously, oh, see, look, there's me at the top of Cathedral Rock, where I touched the healing vortex. Yes, all of these amazing trails. But let me tell you about how what a bad friend I am. So I'm going on a girls trip because my girlfriend Christine is getting married, and you know how there's all these people who fuss over trips and planning, and they're like, we got to get this and we got to get that. Obviously, we
oh
bought
the
T-shirts.
scheduled detailed
Yes.
vacationers.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not
somebody
one of those.
went to the extent to buy us T-shirts so that we
Oh,
could all have
no.
a T-shirt. And I had the like everybody's bringing something, right? So the bride was I bring the bling, and somebody else was like I bring the fun, and somebody else was like I bring the mimosas, and then I was like I bring the bail money, right? But you know what
Damn.
I didn't bring? I
Bail
didn't
money.
bring my bail money shirt. I left
Oh
the shirt in my
no.
car.
So it's like I'm with these three degenerates.
Yeah, these three weirdos are my friends. So I
I
didn't fit in with the group.
I
So
can't
I felt
believe
bad.
that
So I
you were.
figured I would wear my shirt for the podcast for Christina because I'm such a jerk.
I can't believe you went to Sedona as the bridesmaid or the bridesmaid Voltron.
Yes, we did. We formed. We
The
formed.
bridesmaid Voltron.
All
And
together,
I'll
we
be.
make a loud screaming group of weirdos. And let me tell you something. We are flatlanders here in Miami. So all of those hikes that everybody was like, oh, these are easy. These are good for kids. You can take your dog on this one. It's not a big deal. All of them, we were dropping like flies. We couldn't make it up. Half of us couldn't even make it up we couldn't take pictures in front of the Devil's Bridge because we were scared. We were like, no.
It was
I'm not-
terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Dude, I sat for half an hour on this side. Okay, so you walk up and there's this huge gorge, and then there's a kind of a bridge that goes across, and you see the bridge from a distance. And from your vantage point, it looks like a tiny sliver of land that's connecting these two
Yes.
giant rocks.
Yes.
And
And,
so
then
from a
there's people
distance,
who are walking on it.
and from a distance, I don't know about you, but I waited a solid 30 minutes before I screwed up the courage to say, let me at least walk around before I even decide. Let me walk around to the middle and see what it looks like. And then you see it's kind of like that one Indiana Jones where like you see the walking passage from a certain angle, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. You walk out and you see it's wider than it looks. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
not like
It's
it's
still
still
not
not
wide.
like it's still
Yeah,
not
well,
super
I
wide.
did it because I was like, okay, I'm here with my friend, and I'm not gonna let her take this picture by herself. Because the other
Right.
two girls were like, hell to the no, I'm not going on that thing. Are you nuts? I'll take your
Uh-huh.
picture. But you know something? What was scarier is being the person taking the picture because they're the ones who have to appreciate the whole panorama.
I
So
can't get this wrong.
no, exactly. And they're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it looks like they're gonna die. And then
Yeah.
while we were there, some chicks went to the edge and dangled their legs over. I was like, we have to go. We
What?
have to go. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Terrifying.
people are getting stupid.
Yeah,
Did you eat
real dumb.
anything while you were there? Was there anything that you
I
ate that
did.
were
Th-
memorable?
that was the okay, there was one restaurant that was memorable just because we found it kind of funny. All the food was good, but we were kind of laughing at it. But there's this place called Mariposa that I think that's the place
Right.
where everybody goes. And
There's 5 places in Sedona where everybody goes.
yeah,
Like, and
totally.
that's it.
Mariposa was funny because everything was good, but it was just like we were looking at the menu and coming from Miami where everything is Latin. It was like
Right.
Cuban churrasco and like with chimichurri. And
I'm
we
like,
were like,
that's not
wait,
right.
Cuban churrasco with chimichurri? We were just confused about like the mislabeled,
Yeah.
like misidentified foods, but everything was good. So everything
Right.
was good, but we were just like, yo, what?
Delicious but offensive.
Yeah, delicious but mislabeled. It was just mislabeled, but everything was good. And then we went to like the brewery. I can't remember the name of the brewery, but the brewery was fine. And
Right.
then we went to a place called like the Oak Grill, and I just got like the biggest piece of fried chicken ever. And like I didn't eat for 2 days after that.
Yep.
It was good. The food in
But
Sedona,
it's good
legit.
hiking food. It's good
It's
hiking
it's
food
good. You can eat whatever you want because you're gonna burn it off.
because you're gonna burn 10,000
A million
calories.
calories.
And you know what the problem is that because you and I were both led by Connie. Because when I went out there, Connie had been. She's like, "Oh yeah,
Did
the
she
Devil's
tell
Bridge."
you the same lies?
Well, she told me that like, "Oh, the Devil's Bridge. It's only like a 2 mile hike. You can do it. It's not a big deal." And it's like Connie hikes for fun. Like she goes on hikes in the Northeast, and it's like I was so exhausted at the end of that Devil's Bridge hike. I was like, that
Dude, my
that
legs
was
were
terrible.
sore. My arms were sore after the
Yep.
Cathedral Rock because listen, let me tell you about Cathedral Rock. Cathedral
Scramble.
Rock, dude, you have to scramble up this formation that literally looks like a butt. Like you're going up the crack of this butt of
Ooh.
rock, right?
Oh.
It literally looks like a butt. I took a picture of it, but I'm not going to show it to you because it's too offensive for for the Ventanita's sensitive audience. But like you
I'm
have
not
to
surprised.
scramble up the butt. But then scrambling up the butt wasn't hard. The problem was scrambling down the butt. You literally just slide. And so like you have to like use your arms to hold your weight while you're sliding down this butt crack. It was terrifying. It was
Amy,
just
the
awful.
image that you have formed in my
Yeah.
mind.
Nature is
You're dribbling
porny.
down the butt crack of nature.
Nature is porny. I'm telling you.
Oh Lord.
All
Oh,
right,
Pierre
Carlos,
wants to
should we
know how
talk
my
about food?
well wait, but Pierre wants to know how my workouts are going. The one that's
Oh,
kept
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
food. So I did go back after a week. I went to another HIIT class, and it was great. I didn't die. It was fantastic. I'm still 3 days later sore. Like I got up this morning. I'm like I'm gonna try to go Sunday, Wednesday. Like twice a week. And I went to get up out of bed. My stomach, all my sore stomach went, and I
No,
said,
no. Don't get up.
maybe next Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to stick with it, Pierre. I'm definitely doing it. I'm down.
Well, it's like you need to learn how to half-ass it because like that's how you can get through those workouts until you're in shape. You just gotta like
That's what I
mm,
did. I paced myself. We call that
mhm.
pacing ourselves so that we
Oh,
don't say that
call it
we're
half-assing it.
losers. Yeah, no, but you're right. That's what it is. You just give it 70 to
Give it
80%.
75%.
Yeah, because
Until
before
you're in
you were
shape.
giving 0%. So like
100%. Yeah,
70%
totally.
is a big improvement.
Yeah. You've upgraded your activity level, so
Yeah.
just don't go overboard.
No, I'm learning. Hey, so yeah, we should actually talk about food.
Yeah, we should
And
talk about food.
so like happy trails to Henderson Junior Biggers. Henderson Biggers, Junior Biggers, was a guy, an employee at one of the Kush restaurants, now owned by one of the Kush restaurants, but it was originally Stephen's Deli. It was a Jewish deli in Hialeah before there were Cubans. It opened in 1954, and he'd been working there since 1957. That means that man
Dang.
worked there for
Dang.
65 years, Amy.
Dang. And look at you leaving jobs already,
I know.
Carlos.
He stayed in the job literally 10 times as
10
long
times
as I
longer
did.
than you.
10 times longer. He's actually pretty amazing. As a side note, he is Udonis Haslam's maternal grandfather. He was Udonis's mom's father, and he's gone by the restaurant regularly. But he actually grew up in Alabama, and went to he went into the Air Force because he thought, my family, they were one of 9 kids, I want to say. He's like, my family can't afford college, so I'll go into the Air Force, and when I get out on the GI Bill, I'll go to college. And like the year before he got out, they canceled the GI Bill, so he was not eligible. So after working logistics, like for the Air Force, which means basically making sure that people and products get in the right places, he comes down to Miami where he has a brother, and there's a perfect logistics job at a grocery like wholesaler. And he's like perfect for it. He's looking at the job and he's like, I can do this job in my sleep. But it's 1957 in Miami. And as he said to me, there were certain jobs for certain people. Mm-hmm. And he kind of, he'd said to me before, not this time, but he'd said to me before, there were certain jobs that black folks weren't allowed to do. And that was one of them, even though he was probably the most fit person for that job. And so the employment office found him a job as a dishwasher at Stevens Deli. Mm-hmm. Now the guy stayed there long enough to where he ended up being like the only fixture. Like he learned how to cut the pastrami with a knife, which is apparently really important versus using the machine to like shave it the right length. Like something about learning the skill of cutting it with a knife makes the texture nicer, and it doesn't get shaved and fall apart. So you can go just thin enough without it being shaved. And he learned the skill that he kind of had retained and now passed down to these young kids that are now, going to be taking over for him when he retires.
Nice.
I think it's pretty cool.
So they had a party for him?
Yeah, they had like a big party for him a couple days before we aired this podcast last week. They put some items, on the menu, what they were priced at back in the day.
Oh my God.
And which was like, I don't know, I want to say like 57-cent hamburgers or something like that,
right.
Or cheeseburgers. And they kind of honored him. And the city of Hialeah had already named like a Junior Biggers Day at one point. And the sandwich that he makes ended up on a Time Out list of like best sandwiches in the country or best sandwiches in the world, maybe even. It was nice. pretty wild. But like good for him, Like
yeah,
that
good
guy
for him.
And honestly, like he's 86. He's 86. He should have retired like 20 years ago. But sometimes both because you gotta work.
It's like those guys from the Larios couple. They just they liked working.
They just like the work. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's an element to it that like, hey, it would help if you keep working and make a little money.
Right, maybe.
But there's something to be said. You can look into somebody's face and be like, this person enjoys what they do, and that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Congrats to him, and I hope he enjoys his retirement.
I know. He's a cool
Hope
dude,
he doesn't
man.
get bored.
Yeah, he's gonna be fishing a lot. He told me he's gonna be fishing a lot.
Aww.
And, he's got a brother. He's got a different brother that lives over in Carroll City, so he's gonna be doing that a lot. So.
Oh well, congrats to him. And I hope the people that he taught how to slice that pastrami live up to his legacy.
I know. I hope so too. What else have we had going on here? Let's do.
Oh, before you talk about real news,
Okay.
the stone crab poll, nobody's voting. We really need to get you guys motivated because we're down to the Elite 8.
Oh boy.
And nobody's voting.
This is
Let
going to
me
be
tell you
evergreen
who's on
content.
this list. Yeah. Let's tell you who's on this list. Obviously, Joe's Stone Crab is winning. And after
Right.
that, we've got Garcia's Seafood. And then we've got Captain's Tavern, a place called Holy Crab that I've never heard of.
That name is ridiculous.
But that's a great name.
It is a great name.
Then we got the Key Largo Fisheries, Billy's Stone Crab, Golden Rule, and Stiltsville. So if y'all want to make your favorite stone crab claw place win, you better get to voting. You can vote as much as you want. There are no rules. This is the wild, wild west. Vote until your hand breaks, until your computer explodes.
I feel like the Holy Crab is owned by a guy who talks like this and has a sponge who cooks all the food, who lives inside of a pineapple. Come on down to the Holy Crab.
Oh my God. Make it
It's like a franchise of Mr. Krabs. That's funny. But what else is going on? Speaking of stone crab season, cinnamon roll season, right?
Oh my
Like
God.
those two go hand in
Yes.
hand.
Yes. Now
I
Sperry
don't know about
Farm's
you.
opening.
Yeah, Nosberry. Oh, right. We should.
Oh, did they open yesterday? They opened Tuesday, right?
Yep, they open Tuesday. We're recording this on a Wednesday, so that's it. It's officially open.
So
If you're
it's
listening,
official.
if you're within the sound of my voice, you can go
There
get.
are there are cinnamon rolls available for you to consume.
Yeah, so Nas obviously they start. They only run during the season. I want to say from October to May.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's almost like stone crab season. It's almost identical to
It is.
stone crab season, where they have you pick fields starting in January when they actually have some growing stuff come in, tomatoes and strawberries. But like their big thing is cinnamon rolls. And they actually, Amy, have you ever had the cinnamon roll shake that
No,
they
I've
do?
never had. Nope.
Bro, that's the thing. Because there are places that do shakes just as good or better. I mean, Robert is here. I love their shakes. I think they're amazing. But like their
What's your
cinnamon roll
order at
shake,
Robert is here? What do you get?
it's got to be strawberry key lime pie.
Mine is strawberry mamey shake, not smoothie.
Oh,
It
oh,
tastes
strawberry
like
mamey.
candy. It tastes like birthday cake. Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, I really like that. I would never have thought to mix those two things together, strawberry and
So good.
mamey. Oh, I like that. That's one of those where you have to hit them both, right? Like go down, get a cinnamon, a big stack of cinnamon rolls. You know what's cool is you can get like a whole stack, and you can just freeze it, and
Hmm.
you can kind of cut some out
Well, you
and
can't
thaw
eat
them
them
out
all
one
at
at a time.
once, that's for sure, unless you
I
just
mean,
want to die.
you could, but then you'll die.
Exactly. Yeah,
And,
that's a smart strategy. Get them, freeze them, and then they'll last you at least half a season.
there's a lot of folks who'll buy them at the end of the season, and then that kind of holds them through the off season.
Totally. It's like having
Yeah.
your frozen stone crabs. You know what I do though? I go to the Wayside Marketplace in Pinecrest and I buy them there because they get them.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they're marked up, but they get them and they say Nouse on them. So I'm getting them.
Oh, you know what? There was a Twitter guy who used to follow me. Well, John, I think, who I've met since, and he was saying that he's like, are these legit or are they like Fugazi? And I think that they actually go and buy them and then resell
And then
them.
resell them at a markup for sure. It's at a markup.
Oh, it's at a markup, right?
I'm 100% sure, yeah. But
Oh,
they're there,
because
and like they've made the line for you. That's what they did.
but you know what? That's almost worth it
Yeah, totally. I'm
because
100% sure.
I don't
Like think of all the
understand.
gas you saved.
I don't understand the people that like waiting in the line.
Are there
You know what I'm
people
talking
that
about?
like waiting in line?
Oh yeah, they bring their lawn chairs and they're like, "Oh, this is like a big get together and everything else." No, it
Well,
is
I will
hot.
tell you this. I would sooner wait in line for a cinnamon bun than like the latest iPhone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like at least I get an
absolutely.
instant gratification, you know?
Yes. Oh, my pictures are going to be so much better. No, no,
Whatever. No, I'm
get
about
in
to
my
pig out
belly.
right now.
Yeah, I like that. But I love that idea. So that's funny that this guy had mentioned that to me years ago, John. And he's like, you got to find out whether those are legit. But now that you tell me they're at a markup, that makes sense because
Yeah.
Nas told me we don't sell anywhere outside. Like we don't ship to resell. So it makes sense that would go and make the line for you
Wait,
and
well,
make them
now you
available.
got me confused. Are they, what did you call them? Fugazi?
Fugazi. I forget what movie that's from, where it just means fake or God, what movie
Oh
was that
man, no,
from?
but
I can't
they look
remember.
so real.
Yeah, no, they're legit. I think that
They
they
look
are.
legit. They look legit, and they only sell them during the season, so they have to be legit, right?
Yeah, no, I
Now
agree.
you got me worried.
I think that they figured it out, and I don't know why anybody else hasn't. Just like put up a sign and just says not use the name, but say the roles you're looking
Honey
for
buns,
are
yeah.
here. Oh, right, the Wolf of Wall Street. That's where the Fugazi line came from. Thanks, Pierre.
Well,
Pierre, pop on for a second. Pop on for a second, and tell us about that line because I don't remember exactly where that is. Flip your camera and audio on and join in
oh,
the
maybe he
show.
doesn't have his makeup on.
Oh, he's fine.
Wait, we can't hear you.
You got to unmute yourself, Pierre.
I forgot. The technical director, and he,
Hey, you forgot all the technical stuff.
yeah.
Pierre,
So
where's that line from? Do you remember what specifically that line
I don't remember
comes?
where in the movie it's from, but I remember it's from The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
All
So
right, I got to go back and watch that. That
yeah.
movie, I just remember that scene of Leonardo DiCaprio being dragged outside the Lamborghini,
Yeah.
where he thinks he's driving away and he's actually just like a slug being dragged along. Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, isn't he like on Mega Quaaludes right then?
Yes, exactly.
I do remember that scene.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
great
that movie was
movie.
crazy.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
that's awesome.
I'm going back in the
Going
back.
back into the cave.
Back into
into
the
the
box.
cave.
Get out of here. Back in the box with you.
I'm back. See you guys.
What else is going on too here? Oh, South Beach Food and Wine Festival. I know it's still like months away,
Yep.
but apparently now you can browse the website, and that's a thing that we're excited about.
That's the thing that people do, because you gotta get your game plan ready, because this is a very strategic thing. Like, if you want to get into the good events, you got to know when the tickets are available, and you got to know who's going to be there, and you got to know like what celeb chef is going to be judging, and how you get your stuff. So the website's available now. You can take a look and see what's going on. And I think this year, again, I think I'm going to do like maybe one tent and one dinner.
Yeah, the dinners to me are the thing. Like, if
Yeah,
you're gonna
I
go
agree.
to the,
I think the dinners are the move. And the dinners are for like the people who are like ready to chill, because
Yeah.
I can't eat that much anymore. I'm not a tent person. I need to be fed like in a civilized manner, not just shove
Absolutely.
food in my face hole.
And-
It's work.
And this year, it's going back to full scale. Like, they had limited the numbers because of COVID over the last couple of years. This year, Lee Schrager told me that they might actually be bigger than pre-pandemic.
Oh, people
And the
are
thing
ready
is-
to come out then, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, like, an event like Burger Bash literally has 4,000 people. 4,000. And it had been separated into two groups of 1,000 over the last
Okay.
2 years. Which, I mean, I went to Burger Bash and I was like, this is amazing. This is how I want this event. But now when I think of 4,000 people, like,
You're like,
that's exactly what
out
I
of my
don't like.
way.
You know, all to have a bite of a burger.
I want to get
honestly-
to the burgers faster. Ooh.
And the burgers are great. Like, those people are killing it. They're making
Mm-hmm.
really delicious burgers, and you get great bites. But like
Oh
that
my God, and we
experience,
always win. Miami always wins. It's so amazing. That's why I love Burger Bash.
I
We
know.
always crush.
local love, baby. We
Mm-hmm.
just and people want to know, and that's nice too, because a local place wins, and then you can go eat that burger at a local
Totally.
place. Yeah, without paying $350 a person.
Just get
I
that
will
one
say-
burger for $10.
I will say, if I'm paying, some of those dinners are like 250, 200 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You can get even as low as like 150. And if there's like a celebrity chef and it's a small intimate dinner, 40, 50 people, that to me is
So
totally
nice. Yeah,
so
so
much worth
nice.
it. Yeah, so much more worth it than I mean, I get it. People like to be out on the beach, and it's actually it's got the big tent, so even if it rains, which it never does, it's
Mm-hmm.
actually really pleasant. It's just like when you're hangry, it sucks to wait.
You really want to
in
hurt
line.
somebody to get to that food.
Yeah, I'm surprised there have not been knockdown dragouts. Maybe because there's enough tents. You can just
Maybe
eat.
there will be. And maybe there have been. We just didn't know about it, because I have seen people at the Grand Tasting Village get wasted.
Oh, yeah.
But just wasted.
Oh,
So there's always at least two. There's always a group of screaming girls. Somebody's bringing the bail money, and like, woo! Let's go
Voltron
get
Unite.
some more wine and croquetas. So yeah,
It is pretty amazing that it doesn't get crazier than it does. Every year I say, you know what, I'm going to keep my eye out to make sure that there isn't some fiasco, and there never is. I guess
no, it's
people are-
usually just drunk, belligerent girl groups. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a little bit of screaming and a lot of eating.
that's not so bad.
No, that's fine.
What else do we have going on?
Talk about the Art Basel event.
Right. So speaking of things that you have to buy tickets for, so it turns out that Amex and Resi, the online app, have started this program. They did kind of like a pilot program-ish during the pandemic, and what they did is they invited some of like the top chefs in the world actually to come during that week of Art Basel at Miami Art Week, and they're going to have like these intimate dinners, and I think you have to have a very specific Amex card. As a matter of fact, I think one of them is like the Amex Platinum, which costs something like $700 a year to have. But I guess if you travel and you use it, I mean, good for you. So it gives you the chance to buy these tickets, which are, I know you're going to be surprised, Amy, super expensive, $350
How much
a person.
are they, Carlos?
$350 a person.
Okay.
But like,
Okay.
but listen, but there's people that have wanted to eat at Massimo Botturo's restaurant. Massimo Botturo's, his restaurant was ranked one of the best in the world for years running, and it's in Modena, Italy, and
They
that's
just
you get
haven't made it to Modena recently.
exactly
So they're
exactly
now they're able to try his food in Miami. That's
yeah.
a
So
that's a win.
and let me tell you, it's kind of a bargain because a couple years ago he was cooking at a thing here, and it was something like $650 a person. Just ridiculous. I mean,
Ouchies.
that's not for me. I can't. I mean, I've eaten at some pretty elegant and pretty expensive dinners, but that to me, like, commensurate with my level of income, I can't justify that. I can't justify that, Amy. That's like how many
I
tri-suits
could
it's
do
at.
it like once every 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like when I have like my 20th anniversary, I think I'll go do something like that. But that one time, this is the one meal that I constantly am referring to. That one place I went to up in Westchester, the Blue Farm,
Oh
the
yeah,
Blue Farm restaurant or something like that.
Blue
Dude,
Hill. You were at Blue Hill.
yes, Blue Hill. Thank you. I don't even remember it, but it was very expensive, very good, and very, very long. The longest meal I've ever had in my whole entire existence.
Right. You
It
feel
was
like you
like,
live here now. I
yeah, they
live
were
at
like,
Blue
we're
Hill
just
now.
gonna put you in this room. They actually, they took us to a second location at one point. They're like, here,
They
we're gonna take a
blindfold you
break. They did
and put
basically.
headphones on you and they play like heavy metal music while they move you.
And they were like, here, you're going to sit here and we're going to give you 3 courses in this little barn, just the two of you now. And then they were like, okay, that's done. We're going to take you back to the restaurant. It was a whole
Right.
thing. It was fun. It was an experience.
Name one food that you remember from that. There's got to be
Not,
something.
oh,
Not one?
leaf with sauce. I remember
Leaf
getting a
with sauce.
plate that had a leaf and then there
Okay.
was a sauce and you were supposed to take your leaf and drag it through the sauce and then shove it in your face. It was good.
Oh.
It was
Like
really
a
good.
Chicago hot dog dragged through the garden,
Yeah,
except
exactly. But it
make
was
it
leaf with sauce.
make it 50
That's what
times
that
as
course.
expensive.
I think that they invented the leaf course. The
Right.
lettuce leaf course. It's just one leaf and sauce and
Yeah. It's I think there's a balance, right? Between a place that does something that gives you an amazing flavor experience, but then also gives you enough food. So when it's
so you
over,
feel fed. Yes.
yes. And I'm
Yes.
not, you know me, like I appreciate the small portions. I don't just like order the 60-ounce steak and eat until I'm done. I like portions, and I've been to restaurants where like there are many portions, and you've many courses. Like we went to French Laundry, and they say it's like 9 courses, but it ends up being like 15 courses because they bring
But
you a
did they
bunch of
have a
little
leaf
things.
course? Was there a leaf course?
There was a tiny little ice cream cone course where you eat the ice cream cone,
It's like a
but
little
it's like
miniature elf ice cream cone.
it's a tiny little elf. It's a little cone. It's actually an appetizer in amuse-bouche. It's where I learned that term when I was 20 something
When you
years
were
old.
fancy, you were being all fancy.
I was. It's a tiny little. Imagine a tiny little, like one of those Nutty Buddies, right? Except that it's salmon and it's got creme fraiche in it and little salmon
Ooh.
scoop on top, and it's got little capers, and you eat it in one bite, 1 or 2 bites.
I
Boom,
would
boom.
eat the heck out of that.
Amazing. Like
Could
you
I
eat it, and you're
what
like,
would happen
I
if you were
want
like,
10
"Can I
more.
have another one?"
I was like, can I get like a bag of bugles of these and just like
Just
dig
dip
into
it.
them? Exactly. Just keep tunneling into them. But like I get it. Like if you eat a ton of those, okay, you're good. But there are too many places that are like, we're being very artful about our food. And when you're done, really what you want is a hamburger
A
and fries.
burger. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have been known to hit the McDonald's on the way home to see those arches. See those arches on the way home and be like,
And you say, I could go for a thing of fries right now.
crispy, crispy fries.
Yeah, that was a nice amuse-bouche, that meal.
That whole meal was an amuse. My
was the
bouche was amused. Yeah.
Well, anyway, those dinners are probably going to be like there's what 4 or 5 of them that are happening.
Yeah.
They're going to be for the patrons of Art Basel who want to have the fanciest chefs available in Miami. And
Right.
you know,
And it hurts because it's such an Art Basel thing, right? Like if you're even the thing is if you're kind of like a norm, right? Like just a normal here in Miami, and like Art Basel comes, it's just kind of a time to avoid that part of town in general. Like maybe you go to Scope during Art Week, You know, like that's the most that I've done. I've been to Scope and I was like, this is beautiful, this is cool, this is amazing. I see different artists. Now I'm out. Because a lot of those things really are for the world's art collectors, and they come down and it's
No, it's
you know,
basically like a trade show for art collectors.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so
No, but
like
I think
and it's
last
been
year,
like this.
they Carbone did a pop-up like that because Carbone was like, "Oh, we're here and you guys, there's not enough space in our restaurant for all the people coming for our Basel." And so they pre-sold all of these nights of a Carbone pop-up. And I remember thinking, "Dang, that would have been a good opportunity." But no, I think it was even more expensive. I think it was
Yeah.
like $1,000 a table or something like that. It was pretty nuts. But people went.
Yeah, people went, and you're right. Now that you mentioned that, I remember that was a previous event that they did that kind of showed them, oh, we can make some money off this. So
Yes, the people want to eat.
yeah, and they'll pay for it. So I mean, I think Massimo Bottura is interesting. They have a couple of folks in that as well. Solomonov, the guy that owns Zahav, which is one of the great restaurants in Philly, and they've got a whole string of them. And there's two other chefs that I'm gonna look up, because you know what, I think that there are two women chefs, two black women chefs who don't get the kind of coverage and love that they deserve.
They're going to be participating in this
And
dining series.
right, exactly. And they're going to be following in the next days. So Missy Robbins, who's the chef and owner at Lilia in Brooklyn, she's hosting a dinner like 2 days after Massimo Bottura, and then Mashama Bailey, who's the owner of the Gray in Savannah, which is a restaurant that people just go crazy for in the South, and then she owns a place called Diner Bar in Austin. So them, along with Solomonov and Massimo Bottura, are gonna do the thing. So
Nice.
listen, if you have $1,000 burning a hole in your pocket, I guess that's a thing.
It's there for
Anyone do
you. Oh, and you also have to have that credit card.
Yes, which is $700 a year to have that credit card. Which,
Don't be so
come on,
cheap,
man.
Carlos. Stop being such a cheapskate.
You know what I am excited about, and that is in my wheelhouse of spending, is a Sweet Melody. Sweet Melody ice
Oh,
cream.
right.
Yeah, Sweet Melody
They
opened up.
invented the
Ice
well,
cream
they didn't invent
Ventanita.
it because I think Dairy Queen had
Yeah.
a Ventanita. So,
Yeah,
but
don't front. Don't
they,
front.
they yeah
Sweet
they got
Melody.
the Ventanita for ice cream out in West Kendall,
Yeah,
which
that
we
was cool.
appreciate. Yeah.
I mean, they did a great job of marketing. You know, like we have a Ventanita, like, and it was actually a pretty smart thing. So, Mike Romeo makes this amazing, delicious ice cream. Like he explained to me once what's the difference between like an Edie's Grand ice cream and like what they do, which is like more premium than even Haagen-Dazs. And what it is how much air you whip into it. You know, like Edie's Grand, you go and you scoop into it and you're like, oh, it's such fluffy ice cream. And it's because they take this much ice cream, like an inch worth of ice cream, and they puff air into it so it fills more
Oh,
volume.
wow.
So the ice cream feels quote unquote creamy because it's more puffed. But these guys just infuse it with more butter fat. So it's literally
Oh.
creamy. So like this is one of those ice creams where it's, even if a pint is sitting in your freezer, you can scoop right into it and it's not hard. Versus you bring home
Oh.
you ever had the thing where you bring home a thing of Edie's and you put it in the freezer and it's like
Oh, we
hard?
have to microwave it. Yeah, Tony puts it in
Exactly.
the microwave. Yeah.
This, you don't do that. They're so ultra premium, they're so creamy that you can literally just scoop it right from the fridge, and it just tells you everything you need to know about that ice cream. You know, because it has a higher, a lower freezing point. And
Well,
so
it is located in Kendall, so
the kingdom.
only the best
Had you made
comes
it out
from.
there?
No,
Had
I've
you
never
made
been
it out
there.
there? Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool because, I mean, you kind of have to be outside the Ventanita. So basically, he created a whole creamery, like an actual USDA certified, what do they call it? Like a dairy plant. It's actually called a dairy plant because he's pasteurizing milk there,
Oh, wow.
which just means that you heat the milk to a certain temperature, even though the milk is already pasteurized when you buy it before you make it. But so then he figured out if you carve a little window into it, you could sell to the public. And so he was
Right.
doing that.
Oh, cute. So he sells straight from his little creamery.
Yeah, exactly. So then from there, he packages his stuff and then into like the big scoop containers, and then he brings it to the spot here in Coral Gables. And that place is going to be open weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Where is it
And
at in Coral Gables?
it's one of those places that you drive too quickly and you'll miss it. It's one of those strip malls that's right on Calle Ocho. That
Okay.
so it's there's a little restaurant called La Casita, which right now is making maybe my favorite Cuban food. It's been around, I mean, decades, something like 27, 30 something years. Right, it's like on the edge of Coral Gables. So you have Coral Gables on the south side, Miami on the north, and it's just before you get to it's between Douglas and Ponce.
Okay.
And you have to be real careful. You can actually you'll see it quickly on the right as you're going east, and you can kind of duck in and park behind it. There's plenty of parking, but getting in and out is a little bit of a treacherous endeavor. But the ice cream, Amy, is perfect. I mean, it's fantastic. He made something called Milk and Honey, which is like it's buttered ice cream. It tastes like birthday cake, but it's like buttered ice cream, like butter flavor, and it's got candied like honeycomb and shavings of Belgian chocolate and like and so then like honey swirls in it. Oh my God, I cried when I bit it. I tasted into it. I cried. It was so good.
Oh man, I need to go out there. The thing is, see, listen, I live in Kendall proper, so the
What happened was
so what happened is
the way
that's
my
in
commute is
West
set up.
Kendall, so it's still a little out the way for me, but I'll be there one day. Like for me to go out my way for ice cream, I got to be like motivated, and I don't think the hours are like the place in West Kendall. I don't think it's open after like 7. So
No, I think it's open late. I think it
is
might be
it?
open till almost midnight on the weekend, like 11
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Well, then next
Yeah,
time my kids are being annoying and want to go to Walls, yeah.
yeah.
Next time they're
You
doing that, I'll take them to Sweet Melody.
change it up on them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. There's, I know that my time is limited here, but before I head out, I'm gonna be gone all next week. But when I come back, I want to do this story that I've been kind of working on, just because I thought it was a fun story. Like there's no, I'm always into things that are very Miami stuff that can only happen here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's a little bit of scoop for when I write the story, but I always loved the key lime pie at Blue Collar, a restaurant by Danny Surfer, who he came up as a chef underneath Alan Susser, and Chef Alan's one of the original Mango Gang guys or whatever, and he's had this restaurant, that one in Mignonette, and I realized that they have this key lime pie at both restaurants, and when I asked them about it, it turns out that they don't bake the key lime pie in house. The key lime pie is baked by a woman named Megan Perkins. Now, the thing about Megan Perkins is that it turns out she is the wife of Miami filmmaker Billy Corbin. Isn't that wild? Like,
That
isn't
is
that a
wild.
perfectly Miami thing?
Yes, that is a perfectly Miami thing. I didn't realize that Billy Corbin was married.
Yeah, and you got to give it to Billy because he I think he does a good job of keeping private and
Yeah,
public
he
life
does.
kind of
Yeah.
separate.
He's super
But
low key about that. I didn't even know he was married. I was
I
gonna
know.
say he does share a lot of information about Blue Collar.
Yes, he does.
He is
Well,
he's out
apparently
there
he
repping
and
for Blue Collar a lot. So
he and Danny go back like way before the restaurant. Like they were friends from their teenage years, I think, if not into early college, and they're both kind of from that same part of like northeast section of Miami-Dade County, and so Danny's just visiting him at the studio like one day that Billy's editing some stuff, and there's this pie there, and Danny tries it, and he's like, "Oh my God, this pie's amazing! Who makes this?" He's like, "It's my wife," and apparently. Megan Perkins she was one of those kids that baked for like the Miami-Dade County Fair.
oh my God, how cute.
Yes, she's got
That's
blue
so
ribbons
cute.
from Miami-Dade County Fair, which I think is amazing.
That is so cute.
And he was like, he asked her, she was there, and he's like, "Do you want to make like 2 pies and we'll try to sell them at the restaurant? Like, because these are really great." And now she bakes like 12 pies a week for each of his
Oh,
restaurants. Yeah.
that's cute.
And who delivers the pies all over Miami? Billy Corbin.
Billy Corbin.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
That's
good
fantastic.
husband. Good for her.
Exactly. Billy Corbin, delivery boy. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to get all the full details, and I'm going to write that in a story as sort of a swan song, because I think that's what I'm all about. Do the crazy, do the funny, interesting Miami stories and kind of let them go.
Look at my
Don't cry.
face.
Don't cry. Listen, you know my plan. I mean, I'm going to tell the people because I think it's worth mentioning. Like, I've loved doing this podcast, and I think it's over the years, WLRN and the Herald have worked together really closely on several like projects, but not so much daily stuff. They haven't been able to make that work out yet. But I think, wouldn't it be cool if, like, when I'm over on Sundial, it's 4 days a week, it's Monday through Thursday, it's a live show, noon to 1. What if noon to 1 every Thursday was La Ventanita, a co-production of WLRN?
Oh, that would be cute. That would be cute.
And the Miami Herald. I think, that we not only breathed this thing into existence, we carried it when other people, didn't think it was a viable or interesting idea, but we did it because we thought it would be fun. And I think it would be fun to keep it going. So I'm going to pitch that. I'm going to make the hard pitch. So it's going to be up to you to hard pitch on this side too, because I think it'll be fun to keep it going.
I think the people need La Ventanita.
I think so too. I think we need to
Vanessa
banter.
definitely needs it. Vanessa Bud.
Yes. And whoever you guys hire to replace me, I mean, I would love to interview that person as well. Get the three of us on it. I think that would be fun. But
Definitely.
yeah, we'll see.
Don't make me cry. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. All right. So I think before we go, we've already done the Kiss, Marry, Kill, but I thought it was funny because today I attached an old video to a story, and it was you did the actual attaching, but I mentioned it, which is when I brought Massimo Bottura a box of pastelitos in 2018. He was in town, and they'd offer me an interview with Massimo Bottura, and I was like, what am I going to ask this guy? Like, this guy has no connection to Miami. He's in town to cook a $650 a person meal. I'm not interested in that. And I said, I'm only interested in this interview if I can bring him a box of Cuban pastries, of baked goods, and go through it with him about just...
He can give me his hot takes.
His hot takes on Cuban food, on these Cuban pastries. And without knowing it, we filmed what was essentially a pilot to La Ventanita. Like,
Yes.
he was so good.
Yeah,
he was so funny and introspective, and he really cared. Like, he really was interested in like talking about some kind of local food. And it kind of took me back when I saw that video, and I was wondering, Pierre, would you mind playing a little bit of it? Because I would call this the Last Ventanita. This is the episode that is kind of like the pilot that we've never really aired. There wasn't enough of it to turn into a full Ventanita episode, but I think people might enjoy it. So let's play it.
Massimo Bottura is one of the world's great chefs, and he was in Miami for a special event, so we thought we'd bring him a box of Miami love. If you come to a Miami party, there's one thing that you're going to find at every Miami party, and it's what's inside. And I just wanted to bring you a box and frankly get your impressions on what you like best.
And
That's not terrible, right?
No, not terrible.
Right. Okay. So
Okay, let's see.
es una croqueta.
Una croqueta. It's very easy.
Very easy. Okay. This is una papa rellena. It's potato stuffing.
Potato.
Now, what are you looking for when you're tasting? What are you looking for?
Culture.
Culture.
All right.
Now, this is un pastel de queso. It's Cuban.
I love the pastel de queso, right?
Oh, I've never seen that move. The move where you take the piece and you dig inside.
After I explain to you.
Oh, okay.
It's about proportion.
Okay.
You know, when you eat.
And this is pastel de guayaba y queso. And this is just guayaba. This is the standard pastelito. All right, that's the way to do it.
I just love that.
He went crazy on that box.
He went ham. That man enjoys food.
He does. He was like, I don't even want to tell you what I think about it. I'm just gonna eat it right now, and then we'll come back to it.
It's funny. If you watch the rest of that video, I think he gets into it. He gets into like talking about, what he appreciates about food like that, like the la papa rellena, the idea that this is a food that evolves from people who don't have a lot to eat. Like they don't have a lot of protein, So what do? They make this little fried ball of all mashed potato, and at the very center, there's this little
They distribute
gift.
the protein.
Yes, this little perfect round gift of meat, but there's not much of it. So like if you had a little bit of, you had a quarter ounce of picadillo left over from dinner the night before, that might make 8-10 papas rellenas,
Totally.
Which I think is pretty cool. So
Yeah, that
and I
was
think it's-
fun. I remember that. I remember when you interviewed him because we were like, "What do we do with this guy? He's like the biggest deal ever, and he's in town." But it wasn't going to be something that was going to be like enduring. He was just here for a minute. So I think that was smart because you got him to give us his hot take on the stuff that we hold dear.
Right, and it's still. I think you watch it today, and it still holds up. Like
Totally.
he
Saw how he
still
was
gives us
taking the
something.
corn. He was like scooping out the goo.
Yeah, he was really like looking at it like a food scientist. That was interesting. But who knew? Who knew that would be the beginning of us
Ventanita.
fooling around here once a week for an hour every week? Well, Amy, I believe that is the last show.
Wah.
At least in this form. I do believe that we will see this again, and I am determined to keep it running in one way or the other. So.
Well, when a door closes, a ventanita opens. So
Oh yes, reach right through it. Get yourself a cafecito.
all right,
right, Holmes.
Carlos.
Talk to you later. Peace.
Bye.